Do you want to become more successful in sales? If so, stop using these 8 words that are harming your opportunities and the chance to win business. My name is James White and I'm a small business sales expert, and I'm going to give you 8 words to stop using and an alternative to use instead in order to get better sales results. Let's have a look at the 8 words, what the implications of using those words mean, and what words you can use instead of them. By the way, if you've seen one of my other videos and think this is another good one, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification button so we get videos to you every Saturday morning. But enough of that, let's look at these 8 words that are stopping you from winning business. So what are the words that are making a massive difference and are harming you from winning business that you may not have thought about? The first word is this one. It's probably an obvious one, but it's costing you. That's it. It's the word cost. When prospects see a cost, they think it's something that they'd rather not do. Do they really want to pay a charge or a cost for something when actually they're not sure what value it's going to give them? It makes them feel like it's not something of worthwhile or value. That's going to make them maybe think about, is this worth doing? The best way to overcome this and not use this word is to use the word investment instead. So instead of using the word cost, use the word investment. Why does that work? An investment is something that people see a potential return on. If I said to you, you have a series of investments, you'd expect to see a return and something that makes you feel quite proud. An investment is something that you want to get your prospect feeling, because if they're buying your service, they're seeing it as an investment. They can show other people they've made an investment in a certain area. So start using that word investment rather than cost. It's going to get your prospects thinking in a different way, and it's going to get you starting to engage and get better results. Investments are something people want to spend money on, costs aren't. So what's another key word that's costing you when it comes to sales and getting the results you want and winning business? It's a word that I hear a lot of people use who unfortunately use it thinking it's the right word to use, but actually ends up costing them quite a lot. It's the word why. They say to their prospects, why are you keen to move forward? Or why are you going through a challenge at the moment? Or why are you in this position? And what that does is the word why, and Chris Voss, who wrote a brilliant book called Never Split the Difference, indicated he was an FBI negotiator and he would never use the word why until really key points in the conversation, because he says it's an accusatory word. It puts people on the back foot. Why have you come here today? Makes people feel automatically, well, hold up a second, I'm under attack. People don't respond well to that word. So what's the different words you can use instead? Just change that. For what? What brought you here today? What are the key challenges you're facing at the moment? What would it take to move things forward? What's the implication of not getting this resolved? What does it mean for you to be able to do this? What made you come here today? Using what rather than why will get you a different type of response from your prospect. It's less accusatory, and it's going to give them the chance to open up and share some other thoughts that if you use your sales skills in the right way, you can follow up with and engage with, and hopefully start to find out some intriguing aspects to that prospect's world that you can hopefully then use to work to win business. Use what rather than why, and you're going to see a difference in the results and the actions and the responses you get from the prospects you work with. So when you're trying to get a deal done and you think the prospect's really keen to work with you, and there's that final hurdle to get them over the line, most prospects will try and if they're like me anyway, they'll try and push their luck and see if there's something they can get in return for doing the deal. They want to be able to maybe get that price down to as low as possible. And what we sometimes get, use is a phrase such as, can you do it any cheaper, or can you do that at a lower price? And what salespeople tend to do, or business people tend to do, is tend to use the word discount. And you should avoid using that word. A discount basically means you're undervaluing the services that you offer. You're basically saying it's not quite worth the amount that I originally said it was to you. And what the word discount does, in my mind, in the minds of lots of other prospects, is it says that something you were overpaying for it in the first place. So I would never want you to be able to use the word discount, and try and avoid that. There's lots of other videos I've created on how to avoid how to handle that pricing objection. What you can use though in a situation like this is the word extra. So I would say to someone, look, I'm not in a position to be able to offer a discount here, but what I can do is offer some additional extra services that can really give you additional support and help to achieve those aspects. or offering someone extra or something on top of what they've already got gives you the chance to not discount your existing pricing and lower the value, but give them something which they can see they've got a deal. The key thing the prospect's looking for is to get something. So don't always focus on the discount and undervalue what you do. Focus on maybe giving them a little bit of extra service, or is there something else you can offer, an extra report or an extra activity on top of what you offer that's going to make them feel that they've got something from it and you haven't then been able to discount your price down and devalue it. Use the word extra. We're going to offer this in addition, extra to what you've already got, rather than discount, and see how you get on. So another word that gets used an awful lot in sales that just doesn't really work at all, but is still used by so many other salespeople that I talk to, is this word, cheap. I've had people say to us, we have really cheap services that can give you what you want, or our services are cheap and low cost. And I'm thinking there in my mind, going, well, hold up, say if they're cheap and low cost, they're not going to be very good. Things that are generally cheap generally just don't tend to work or don't last very long. Another word you can use instead of the word cheap though is this, affordable. When you start to use the word affordable, what it does is it starts to put a different context on maybe that offering that you have. Yes, it's the lower priced option of what you've got, but calling it cheap devalues it and makes people think it's worthless, and therefore they're more likely to push you down for further discounts or basically not putting any value to it, which ultimately isn't going to generate those tribe of customers that you want. When you can start to use that, we have an affordable option to start with, and then you can progress to a different option as you start to build your trust with us. It makes people think, well, this is doable, this is a chance to start working with that company. Use the word affordable to get them started. You're basically indicating to them that it's an opportunity to build up and grow with you rather than just making them feel like they're cheapskates and something that they've bought that isn't of value. Affordable works much better than cheap. Try it and let me know how you get on. Put it in the comment section below and see how you've used it to get better results. So when we get to that part in the sales process where we're hopefully looking to really start to move things forward, we sometimes use a phrase or a word that absolutely just doesn't really resonate with the prospect and doesn't enable us to build the relationship that we really want to. I hear the word used a lot, which is a simple one. Is that okay? Is everything okay? Is the proposal okay? Are you okay? And the thing about being okay is it just doesn't actually make the prospect feel very good, and it doesn't really give you any certainty on what's going on. People will say to me, I've sent proposals to people and I've said, is that okay? And I've realised that afterwards that's not the right way to look about it. When you use the word okay, you'll generally get something that is okay, which might mean the other side aren't totally happy, and that could cause you problems down the line. A better word to use is the word fair. I will say to someone, does that sound fair? Or do you think this looks fair? Or do you think that's a fair way to move forward? And what that does is make the other side own part of the process. It tells them and tells you that they think it's fair, or if they agree with you that is, that your proposal to move forward or your summary of their situation or the opportunities in front of you are a good, fair way to move forward. Most people are generous enough to think they want things to be fair and equitable. There are a few people who want to screw you into the ground to get the best deal, but most people want to operate in a fair and standard way. So use the word fair often rather than okay, and you're going to start to see people start to engage with you. And if they think it's not fair, they're going to tell you, and at least then you can handle what the implications of that word mean. But start using fair rather than okay more, and you're going to start getting people tuning into what you're doing, hopefully on your side and ready to move forward with that proposal, that next step in the process. The chances are though, when you're in sales, you're never going to get a deal that just goes smoothly all the way through without there being a couple of roadblocks, or what I would use the phrase objections. Objections happen, they are a natural part of sales, and as business people we've got to learn to deal with them in a more effective manner. But I really encourage you not to use the word objection with your prospect. When you start to use the word objection, it looks like they're being difficult or they're objecting to things, and people object to things or get in the way of opportunities and things that go on are sometimes seen as being pains and difficulties, and actually that makes them feel a little bit probably unhappy, or maybe can even make them feel a bit sad, and feels that if you say you've got the objection with the price, it's probably going to make them think, well, hold on a second, that's not how I feel, but actually you've now made me feel worse. Here's a better word to use instead. Concern. So if you use the word concern, I feel like you're a bit concerned about the implications of this, Or are you concerned about the investment to make here? Or are you concerned about whether this will have the impact that you want to do? What can I do to make that right? What you're trying to show is through your language and the way you operate that you understand that they've got a few barriers in their head. There's a few objections there, but we want to rephrase these as concerns rather than objections. Things that we can overcome, concerns that hopefully with some more information or further details, or by actually just unpacking and talking through the issues, you can overcome them and move forward and get the deal done. So focus on using the word concern. You see you have some concerns there. I sense you've got some concerns in this area. I sense that you've got some concerns around that solution or what that could offer you. Talk me through that so we can get it resolved. Using the word concern is a far better way of approaching a situation with a salesperson than the word objection. I see you've got some concerns. I sense you've got some concerns around that issue. How do we get that resolved? It's going to get you a far better response than saying to someone, you've got an objection to this. It seems like you're objecting to the price or to objecting to this activity. Use that word concern and see how you get on. When we get to the final end of the process, we really want to move forward and get deals done. And look, by this stage, there are a few words you can use, and none of these words are overly bad, but there's a few words that I prefer to use. One of the words, for example, that I have used in the past, and I hear a lot of salespeople use, especially when they're doing the deal, is let's move forward. It's not a bad word, forward. Let's move forward is a positive step. They want to go to that next stage. But I prefer to use the word let's get started. I think when something starts, it's the start of a journey, it's the start of a new opportunity, it's the start of an exciting thing to happen. And moving forward is great, but getting started just feels like there's more energy behind it. There's more of a drive to achieve what we were going to do. Hopefully the person, if you've done the sales in the right way, has indicated some problems and challenges they're facing. And yes, they want to move forward, but they want to get started to solve them. They want to get started to be in a new place. They want to get started where they are to get to the end point and the finish line. So start to use that word. It's not a bad word, forward, but if you use that one instead, you're going to see a difference in the reaction and response, especially if you use it in the right way with the prospects, and it's going to hopefully get you started on making some amazing sales numbers. So the final word isn't really a word, but it's a phrase that I've used an awful lot in my past when I'm selling. And if I'm honest with you, I'm telling you, letting you into a secret now. This is a phrase that I'm trying, we're all human, we're all on a journey, to absolutely remove from my sales vocabulary and change it with the words I'm going to use. When I'm really at that point where I want someone to work with me, I'll often use the phrase, trust me. And whilst I do a lot of work to build trust, when you sometimes use the phrase trust me, it actually makes the other person maybe think, oh, should I trust them? It creates this thought process sometimes in their mind, which can cause you challenges that you want to avoid. So instead of the words or phrases, trust me, use this. I am confident. I am confident we can solve your problems. I am confident we'll give you a return on the investment. I am confident we can achieve what you're looking for. I am confident is a phrase I'm starting to use more within my sales conversations that I have when I win business. I'm trying to use it more because I know it's just got a different feeling. I also don't want to be in a position where I encourage people to think about that issue of trust when really it's about confidence to achieve things. And also because when I talk to my clients, I'm confident I can do work for them, but if they don't take some of the actions they need to, they won't get the results. So trust then is brought into the equation, and it's not just about my trust, it's about what they do. So use that phrase, I am confident we can achieve your goals. I am confident we can achieve what you're looking for. I'm confident we can get to a new place for you. And what that will then do is build confidence in the mind of the other person. You can do what you say you will and get the result in place. So these are the words to stop using when it comes to sales. But let me know what you think. Put in the comment section below what words really work for you and what words have you used that maybe don't work for you. Or do you disagree with any of the points I've mentioned? If so, tell me why you don't like these words or why you think the words that I've said to not use are good words to use. Hey, put it in the comment section below. Let's open that discussion up. But I believe if you stop using these words in sales, you're going to get better results. And my passion and goal is to help you achieve the sales success that you want for you and your firm. So if you're in a position where you start thinking, well, let's give them a go, you've got nothing to lose. Try the words, see how you get on and let me know. And by the way, if you like and subscribe to the channel, we can make sure we get you more videos that help you get sales results and consistent sales success week in, week out. Thanks for watching. My name is James White, small business sales expert. See you next Saturday for another video.